This is Charter Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. We're in the Inland Empire today, and we are joined by Carey Davis. He is the mayor of San Bernardino, and I welcome you back, sir. And I would be remiss if I didn't say that our thoughts continue to be with you and the residents of San Bernardino. We're now a few months out from the unspeakable tragedy of that fateful day. But I do want to say from afar, as a journalist, while the tragedy is like none other, I mean, I hesitate to say this, but I hope it comes off the right way, there does seem to be the smallest of silver linings as a result of the loss of life that occurred back in the end of 2015. Is that fair to say, sir? The smallest of silver linings.
I think that it's fair to express how our community came together as a result of the tragedy that took place. The community did not retaliate, and it came together. It wanted to put forth its best efforts at the recovery process for those who suffered, those who lost family members, and those that are still recovering. They have a long road to go. So I believe the community has united to help with that healing and that recovery process.
And you mentioned the absence of retaliation. And we remember after 9/11, we did see retaliatory acts against Muslims, or those perceived to be Muslim. Many Sikhs were attacked after 9/11 because they were perceived to be Muslim. But what I saw at many of the vigils were people of all faiths, including Muslims, participating. And that must have been gratifying.
Well, I think that speaks to the diversity of San Bernardino because of our the makeup. The community has been accepting of differing religious beliefs, and so it was the day after, on Thursday, that we had that vigil where we just about packed our 66er stadium with the candlelight vigil that was well attended, and it spanned the scope of denominations that attended that. So I think that helped.
I do want to ask you about one specific segment of the population, and that is the youngest residents of San Bernardino. In the wake of the tragedy, reports started to trickle out that the perpetrators were looking to target schools in the region. That had to have been horrifying for these students to see their school's name on a target list. And I would presume that the city and the school district is still grappling with the kind of PTSD for those students, or are they?
Well, certainly, if you go back to that day, the school district reacted very quickly. They locked down. That certainly at that time was not necessarily a target. And so the school district, I think, has done a good job of being able to allay those fears, and has done a good job, and as well as the entire city did, I think, on that day. And the other institutions that went into lockdown had protocols in place to be able to protect the community.
What's remarkable to me about that incident, when you consider that San Bernardino, the city, has had dramatic cuts in public safety because of the bankruptcy, and yet, without fail, the accolades that were showered on your police officers was inspiring. I mean, they apparently reacted in a way that could only be seen as heroic. So it must be gratifying for you that you are now able to, in some small way, repay that debt by looking to provide your police department with some extra safety measures. Tell me what you're doing to beef up safety in your region.
Well, one of the components of our recovery plan, which has been put forth to the bankruptcy, is to add additional sworn officers. And so we have a 5-year plan that's been incorporated in our plan of adjustment. And with that, it is going to then help to add additional sworn officers. there is that need within our community. We need to add that capacity.
And as I understand it, that capacity is necessary not only just for safety reasons, but for economic development reasons.
It is, because you want to be able to let investors know that we are making that investment. That investment to public safety does have a direct impact on those who are going to be interested in investing in San Bernardino. They want to know that we're taking those necessary efforts, and the Common Council has made that commitment.
Right. I understand also that you're looking to expand the use of cameras, which is a common tool that's used today, or at least it's becoming more common. And I want to focus specifically on the body-worn cameras, because those, as I understand it, have been wildly successful in terms of creating a positive interaction between the individual that may have been stopped and the officer, as well as decreasing liability claims, because we know what happened, it's on camera.
Well, and as you pointed out, our police chief has done a marvelous job, but he's also been forward-thinking, and he worked together with Fontana to bring this about. And so that grant that we received will be able to help them to buy those body cameras. But he's also not only been concentrating on that, he's also put into place cameras within some of the corridors within San Bernardino to help with their ability to be able to respond.
I want to talk more about the question of quality of life, because that really, when you think about the bankruptcy, that it kind of encapsulates the challenges behind the bankruptcy. I mean, bankruptcy is dollars and cents, but when you think about the ramifications of it, you think about how it impacts San Bernardino residents. So explain how you're looking to kind of continue to improve the quality of life for your constituents.
Well, one of the needs that we had brought to our attention as a result of a business roundtable that serves kind of as an advisory group. Back in September, it was a concern that they brought to our attention. Certainly it was an ongoing need, but it seemed to have at that particular time gotten to the point where they needed to express that concern. So we took that information and we developed a quality of life team amongst various departments within our city, Parks Department, the PD, the Fire Department, our Public Works Department, our City Manager's Office. And so as a result of that, they started a once-a-week cleanup, and the success of that has motivated them to want to then put forth a resolution to our Common Council to have it funded so that they could do it 5 days a week.
Wow.
And so that quality of life team will be pretty fully engaged here very soon once all of the labor is able to be brought on staff, and to address that, some of those needs. Additionally, as a result of the Burtec contract, where we're going to be outsourcing our integrated waste, that will be an enhancement to that quality of life team, because they will also then help to make sure that the resources are available in the locations where they're needed.
So let's talk about the Burtec contract as a vehicle to ask you about the bankruptcy, because the city has now been in bankruptcy for a couple of years. Predates your election.
It's actually over 40 months.
Yeah, so it's been a while, and we're hoping, I guess for your sake, to be extricated from the bankruptcy. Are we seeing that sooner rather than later?
We are getting down to the backside of it. We are going through the process right now where our disclosure statement is being reviewed. Once that then is accepted by the jury, judge jury, then there'll be a confirmation process. That should happen somewhere in the late spring, early summer. And then the stakeholders will then vote upon the plan.
The stakeholders being the city council?
The creditors.
Oh, the creditors,
the creditors,
of course.
And so then they'll have an opportunity to weigh in on how they feel this is a viable plan. And then once it's confirmed, which could be somewhere near the end of the year, then the city then will have an effective date that we apply.
His name is Carey Davis. He is the mayor of beautiful San Bernardino. My name is Brad Pomerance in the Inland Empire. This is Charter Local Edition.